نكمل معكم في هذا اليوم المبارك اليوم الثالث والأخير من ندوة البركة بنسختها 42 والتي تأتي تحت عنوان الاقتصاد الرقمي واستشراف المستقبل. نكمل معكم فيها الجلسات الثلاث الأخيرة، ويسعدنا أن نستضيف فيها رئيساً للجلسة سعادة الدكتور بيلو دانباتا، وهو الأمين العام لمجلس الخدمات المالية الإسلامية، وستكون الجلسة حول المالية الإسلامية في ظل الرقمنة. فليتفضل مشكورا. تفضل دكتور.
شكرا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Your Excellencies, honorable members of the panel, other speakers, students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation and thanks to the organizers and to the management as well as the founders of these important events that has been taking place for more than 4 decades. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to be here and to chair this session. And I want to also echo my colleagues' appreciation to the organizers for this opportunity to be in the Holy Land, in the holy months, and to visit the holy places. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. I will try to be very, very strict on the timing, and I think this is something that is very important. Yesterday we have witnessed a number of sessions, very useful and educating and knowledgeable sessions that has been shared, and we out of curiosity to learn more, I think we run out of time, but I will be very, inshallah, be very focused on the time and very strict on the time. As a standard setting body, I will try to set the standard for the timing. I think this is very important. So please, my honorable panelists, bear with me if I will notify you 3 minutes before you end of your session, and then I will try to, inshallah, stop you once it is 10 minutes. Each one of you is entitled to 10 minutes. The total session is for 75 minutes, and we will try to keep our time. Now is just 5-6 minutes, I can say, after 1 o'clock. Now, yesterday we have seen discussion and we have benefited from discussion regarding the digitalization, the environments, the economy, the SDGs, cybersecurity, and so on. This particular session will focus more on Islamic finance and digitalization. But I think it's important for us to have some context, understanding by having some highlights of where the Islamic financial services industry is. So perhaps I have some slides. You can go to the next slide to share. The Islamic financial services industry is now at $2.95 trillion as of 31st December 2021. And this is based on the IFSB's stability report. We anticipated that these developments in the industry will continue to grow. And this is something that we believe with the digitalization, which is an enabler, the industry will continue to expand more rapidly. Now, the year-on-year growth, you can look at these 3 sectors. The Islamic banking sector has 8.9% year-on-year growth, and the Islamic capital market 11.6%, and then the 4.8% for the takaful sector. This is something that is very great. If you look at the IFSB stability report last year, this has not been the figures that you have shown. We also look at the projected digital Islamic financial services that are going across the sectors. We try to look at the risks that is the digital transformation is bringing about, particularly we as regulators, and this is something that has been discussed yesterday. And we know that the accelerated digitalization has also changed the way we do things. We are now more on remote working, and no one has experienced this before, but I believe the COVID-19 has made this as a new normal. It is projected that the Islamic financial services industry will grow, and the digital economy will reach up to 128 billion US dollars. And this is something that is really something that we should expect, and we have to work towards that. We also hope that the Islamic financial services industry will be able to provide all the necessary digital transformation that is taking place. That is to say, there will be no sector that will be left untouched. We have seen the application of for the digital transformation in eKYC payments, digital banking, digital financing, wealth management, retail investment platform, and so on. So this is something that we believe this is something that is very, very essential for the Islamic financial service industry, and this is what's going to be the focus of discussion today. I believe in response to COVID-19, we have from yesterday and today we'll also be hearing how in response to COVID-19, we accelerated the digitalization in terms of not only banking, but e-deposits, e-sukuk, insurtech, e-payments, not only blockchain and supertech and regtech yesterday has been highlighted. And this is something that we believe is going to continue. It's something that the Islamic finance is part of the system. And I believe this is something that we cannot afford to be left out. Definitely, the Islamic financial services industry is something that will have to look at the challenges as well. There will be definitely some challenges coming over with the new risks, as highlighted yesterday, and we believe we have to brace up and to be ready for that, for these risks. And of course, the risks and challenges has been highlighted yesterday, and I think this is something that is need to be emphasized over and over again, so that the beauty of Islamic finance can be seen. And I always, encourage our Islamic finance experts and scholars for us to argue Islamic finance not only from the religious faith perspective, but from the economic value perspective. Sharia is very comprehensive and very innovative in nature, and it has given us the opportunity for us to innovate and acclimatize to any kind of situation and environment that we found ourselves. So definitely there are challenges, and I believe in this panel we'll be highlighting some of these challenges that we have highlighted. But in the case of IFSB, what we have taken an initiative is to issue standards for the regulators to be able to issue guidelines and framework to be able to manage some of these potential risks that will be arising from the industry. So as a result of the accelerated digitalization. So without further ado, I will first of all call our first speaker and introduce our first speaker, who is Dr. Muhammad Al-Sagir. Dr. Muhammad Al-Sagir is a lecturer of political economy and sustainable development at the University of Dundee, the United Kingdom. He has a BSc in economics and management from the University of Damascus in Syria, and he has an MA in Islamic banking, finance, and management in the UK, and he completed his PhD in governance and international relations at the University of Durham. So I think your profile is speak for itself. So thank you.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه. أما بعد، أود بداية أن أشكر الأخوة أو أسرة منتدى البركة على هذه الدعوة الكريمة، ونشكرهم على هذا التنظيم المبارك في هذا البلد المبارك وفي هذا الوقت المبارك. طبعا عندما تم استكتابي لهذه الورقة كنا في عالم مختلف، يعني من أسابيع مضت كنا يعني العالم كان يتكلم عن التعافي من كورونا وكيف ننتقل من مرحلة كورونا إلى ما بعد كورونا، والديجيتال ايكونومي كان يعني عليه المعول على أنه سوف ينهض بالاقتصاد العالمي لمرحلة ما بعد كورونا، ونحن فعلا وجدنا خلال فترة كورونا انتقالات كبيرة في التكنولوجيا وفي هذه الأمور. ولكن يعني مؤخرا بدأنا ننتقل إلى مرحلة أخرى أو دركة أخرى من دركات الأزمات الاقتصادية، وهي الحرب الروسية الأوكرانية، وهذه لها أيضا ما لها على موضوع الاقتصاد الرقمي، وشكلت بعدا جديدا يعني يجب أن نفكر به ونتكلم عنه. طبعا الورقة تبعي ستتكلم عن المخاطر الرقمية على القطاع المالي الإسلامي، وطبعا بداية لماذا، يعني السؤال لماذا نتكلم عن الاقتصاد الرقمي؟ طبعا البارحة كان يعني نتكلم لأنه هذا هو المستقبل ويجب أن ننتقل إلى مرحلة الاقتصاد الرقمي، لأنه معظم اقتصاديات العالم انتقلت إلى هذه المرحلة أو انتقلت إلى هذا المكان. ولكن نجد أنه هناك أيضا أسباب أخرى تستدعينا أن ننتقل هذه النقلة إلى الاقتصاد الرقمي بسرعة. مثلا كما نرى مستويات التضخم بدأت خلال الأربع أسابيع الماضية تنتقل إلى مستويات قياسية، مستويات تاريخية. فكما نرى في سوريا مثلا، في لبنان، الوضع أعتقد يعني قريب لما ممكن أن نسميه كارثي. وكما حتى في المملكة المتحدة وفي الولايات المتحدة الوضع ليس أحسن بكثير. يعني هناك تضخم وبدأت فعلا الغلاء، بدأ المستهلكون يشعرون بارتفاع المؤونة بسبب هذا التضخم. كما نرى مثلا في الولايات المتحدة الآن وصل مستوى التضخم إلى تقريبا 8%، وفي المملكة المتحدة 7%، وهذا حتى يعني كما نرى في خلال الأزمة الاقتصادية الماضية ما وصلنا إلى هذه المستويات. نحن فعلا في مستوى متقدم من التضخم. كمان عندما نقارن مثلا التضخم والحربين العالميتين في الولايات المتحدة على سبيل المثال، نرى أن التضخم مرتبط بتقلبات سياسية وحروب. فيجب أن عندما نفكر أن نستخدم الاقتصاد الرقمي يجب أن نضع في الحسبان يعني ما هي الأبعاد أو ما هي الإمكانيات التي ممكن يوفرها لنا الاقتصاد الرقمي في التعامل مع هذه التحديات الجديدة. كمان إحدى التحديات أنه كما نرى منذ عام 2007 معظم سكان الأرض أصبحوا من سكان المدن. كان الانقلاب النوعي كما نرى في 2007 أصبح أكثر من نصف السكان العالم هم من سكان المدن، وهذا له أيضا بعد إشكالي، لأنه أصبح معظم سكان الأرض يعتمدون على آليات السوق وسلاسل التوريد من أجل الحصول على طعامهم. فإذا اختل السوق ممكن أن يتعرض الناس إلى أخطار مجاعات. ونحن بدأنا نرى في بعض أماكن من العالم يعني على سبيل المثال الجفاف في الصومال وفي بعض الأماكن الأخرى، بدأنا فعلا نواجه مشكلة الجوع. طبعا إدارة مخاطر التمويل الإسلامي هي يعني جزء من الإطار العام لمقاصد الشريعة، وتنطلق من القاعدة المقاصدية درء المفاسد مقدم على جلب المصالح. فعندما نطبق هذه القاعدة على الاقتصاد الرقمي يجب أن بداية أن نحلل ما هو الاقتصاد الرقمي وما هي الأشياء أو الأدوات التي يمكن أن تكون ذات مصلحة، وهل نرى أنه هل كل الاقتصاد الرقمي هو عبارة عن مصلحة مطلقة أم فيها مفسدة، ويمكن أن تكون هذه المفسدة يعني يجب النؤو عنها والدرء عنها. كمان في جزئية حفظ المال، من جهة الوجود الحث على الاكتساب، ومن جانب العدم إبعاد كل ما يزيلها وينقصها ويجعلها تختل أو تتعطل. فإدارة المخاطر هي يعني من جانب العدم، يعني من جانب الابتعاد عما يضر بالمال وعما يضر بالاقتصاد. طبعا البارحة معظم العروض كانت تتكلم عن من جهة الوجود، لماذا يجب أن نأخذ بالاقتصاد الرقمي، ولكن إدارة المخاطر تنظر لماذا يجب أن نحتاط عندما نتعامل مع الاقتصاد الرقمي. يمكن تصنيف التكنولوجيا أو الاقتصاد الرقمي إلى يعني كتلتين رئيسيتين اللي هي التكنولوجيا غير المشفرة والتكنولوجيا المشفرة. التكنولوجيا المشفرة يعني أثارت كثيرا من الجدل، ونحن استفدنا كثيرا البارحة عندما يعني كثير من الأشياء تجلت لنا لم تكن واضحة من قبل، وخاصة فيما يتعلق بالتكنولوجيا المشفرة. فالتكنولوجيا غير المشفرة التي كانت معتمدة بشكل عام وهي يعني شفافة عندها بعض أنماط من المخاطر، مثل المخاطر الأخلاقية للذكاء الاصطناعي. الذكاء الاصطناعي هو يعني ليس خال من القيمة أو هو ليس موضوعي بشكل تام. هو عبارة عن برنامج حاسوبي تم برمجته عن طريق أشخاص. هذول الأشخاص لهم مرجعيات أخلاقية، وبناء على مرجعياتهم الأخلاقية كتبوا هذه الخوارزميات وبدأوا يعني يعتمدونها على أنها هي المرجع في القياس. فهذه يعني كان لها بعض المخاطر، مخاطر تقنية تقليدية مثل القرصنة والجريمة الإلكترونية، والقطاع وصناعة الأمن السيبراني أصبح متطورا جدا الآن ولا داعي للكلام عنه كثيرا. واستفاض الأخوة المتحدثون البارحة في الشرح عن هذه المخاطر. مخاطر قانونية، عدم الامتثال لسرية العقود، أيضا ورقة الدكتور وليد البارحة تكلمت عن هذا الأمر. التكنولوجيا المشفرة طبعا هي يعني تعتمد على سلسلة الكتل، العملات الرقمية والعقود الذكية. طبعا سلسلة الكتل هي تكنولوجيا حديثة، وفعلا كان لها تطبيقات جيدة جدا، بحيث أنه معظم المصارف ومعظم الأنظمة التشريعية بدأت تنظر في تطبيقاتها. وعندنا مخاطر مثلا قانونية، وعندنا مخاطر تقنية تقليدية. طبعا بسبب ضيق الوقت يعني سوف ننتقل إلى التوصيات، لأنه حتى لا نضيع الوقت كثيرا على المتحدثين بعدنا. هذه فتوى طبعا من إدارة الإفتاء في مصر بتحريم العملات المشفرة بسبب ما فيها من جهالة وغرر. فطبعا بعض الأجهزة الفتوى تكلموا عن هذا الأمر وبحثوا فيها ووجدوا أن فيها جهالة وغرر، وهي شبيهة حتى بالميسر. هي فيها مستوى غرر فاحش، الربح فيها فاحش والخسارة فيها فاحشة. فلأجل ذلك الشريعة جاءت للحد من هذا المستوى من الغرر. الذكاء الاصطناعي والأخلاق كما نرى هنا، الذكاء الاصطناعي وجد أنه بدأ يؤثر سلبا على حضارة الإنسان، بدأ يتنافس حتى مع حضارة الإنسان، وبدأ الكلام في كثير من الجامعات على تطوير خوارزميات أخلاقية. ولكن نرجع للخطوة الأولى، بأنه حتى الأخلاقيات في الغرب هي أخلاقيات قد لا تتماشى مع الأخلاقيات الإسلامية. فلأجل ذلك نحن بحاجة إلى ذكاء اصطناعي إسلامي. لا يمكن الاعتماد فقط على الذكاء الاصطناعي الغربي من غير مراجعته وإدخال القيم الأخلاقية الإسلامية به. كما نرى بالنسبة مثلا للتنمية المستدامة، التنمية المستدامة هي بشكل عام عبارة عن مجموعة 3 أو 3 E's كما يقال: Economy وEnvironment وEquity، أو السوق والمجتمع والبيئة. حاليا نرى أن السوق طاغي بشكل كبير على الثلاثية هذه، ويجب علينا إعادة التوازن والاستفادة من الاقتصاد الرقمي لإعادة التوازن بين السوق والمجتمع والبيئة. لا نريد أن يطغى طرف على طرف، نحن بحاجة إلى 3 أوجه ولا يمكننا الاستغناء عن أي منهم ونترك يعني كما نرى عندما تسلط اقتصاد السوق على على الاقتصاد، بدأ فعلا الآثار البيئية تتجلى، الاحتباس الحراري والجفاف الأنهار، يعني حتى نهر مثل نهر الفرات بدأ يجف. فالوضع سيء. التوصيات للعاملين في قطاع التمويل الإسلامي: الانتقال من فكرة الحد الأدنى وهو الحلال. نحن طبعا خلال التطور قطاع التمويل الإسلامي كنا دائما نسمع أنه شريعة compliant أو متوافق مع الشريعة حلال، ولكن هذا بعد مبدئي ولا يجب الوقوف عنده، يجب أن يكون حلال وهادف، وهذا ما يعني هذا هو الطيب المستدام والمنبثق من مقاصد الشريعة. حلال متوافق مع الشريعة، ولكن لا نقف عند هذا الحد، يجب أن يكون أيضا متوافق مع مقاصد الشريعة ويكون طيب. تسخير التكنولوجيا الحاسوبية طيب. تسخير التكنولوجيا الحاسوبية الحديثة مثل الحوسبة السحابية وكل هذه، والذكاء الاصطناعي ذو الهوية التنموية الإسلامية، يجب أن نحفز إنشاء هذه الخوارزميات ذات الطابع والهوية الإسلامية أو التنموية الإسلامية من أجل الحفاظ على هويتنا وعدم ذوبانها مثلا في فكر السوق الاستهلاكي، وننسى لماذا نحن موجودون في هذا العالم. توصيات الأجهزة التشريعية: تشجيع الابتكار المالي، الاستثمار في البنى التحتية، التخفيف من القيود التشريعية، وأيضا هذه من الأمور المهمة، التخفيف من القيود التشريعية. الآن العالم يتجه باتجاه تخفيف القيود. نحن خلال 20 عاما تقريبا منذ أحداث سبتمبر والعالم في تضييق مالي، وفعلا التضييق المالي ضيع كثيرا من الفرص، ولأجل ذلك يعني معظم الجيل الحالي بدأ يتحرر من هذه القيود، ويجب أن يؤخذ بعين الاعتبار هذا، ولا يعني يجب أن يعارض. فيجب التخفيف من القيود، لا يجب عدمها، يعني يجب فقط التخفيف منها. وأيضا مثلا تخفيف من الضغوط الاقتصادية على العملة الوطنية عن طريق توطين سياسات الأمن الغذائي. نحن بحاجة لسياسات أمن غذائي، لا يمكننا أن نستغني عن الغذاء، ولا يمكننا أن نترك غذاءنا يقرر عن طريق آليات السوق. يجب أن يكون عندنا استغناء غذائي. سياسات تصنيع إحلال تعويض الواردات وكل هذه الأمور. وأيضا مثلا من أجل تخفيف ظاهرة غلاء المعيشة والتعامل مع التضخم من ناحية العدم، يعني ممكن أو من جهة العدم زراعة الغابات. يعني نحن نسمع كثيرا عن الاقتصاد الأخضر، ولكن الاقتصاد الأخضر هو فقط الكلام عن السيارات الكهربائية. طيب ماذا عن زراعة الأشجار؟ لا، يعني فعلا في نقص شديد في فكرة الزراعة. توصية المصارف، تجنب العملات المشفرة بشكلها الحالي، وبدأت طبعا المصارف الآن تتكلم عن العملات المشفرة المركزية. وأظن سأتوقف هنا حتى ما أخذ يعني بسبب حاجز الوقت. جزاكم الله خير.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I mean, I believe you have a lot to share with us, and we really appreciated that. But unfortunately, it's just the time. But we really appreciated the insight. So without taking much time, I will invite the next speaker, which is Dr. Farouk Habib. Dr. Farouk Habib is the co-founder of Alif Technologies, and he holds his PhD in Islamic finance from INSEP, Malaysia, an MSc in banking and finance from Queen Mary University of London, and a bachelor's degree in economics, and another bachelor's degree and master's in Islamic studies. So the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and hello everyone. So I'm going to talk about digital investment tools in the financial sector. So I will be giving you a little bit of introduction of those tools, that what are those, and then I will be shed some light on the Sharia issues specifically, which are existing in those digital investment tools in the financial sector. So this is basically first platform we are talking about is digital banking, where we can use, because digital banking is a platform, although it is not the only platform where you can use robo-advisors, AIPs, which are automated investment programs, and APMs, which are automated portfolio managements. But digital platform give you digital banking platforms, they give you a platform where you can use all these tools. Without going into the details and the definition of what are these, let me just walk through you as a user experience that how you are going to do it. For example, you are an account holder in a digital bank, and you want to invest in certain commodities, or you want to invest your savings into some profitable ventures. So how you are going to do that? So if you are using these tools, then first of all, you will be using AIP, which is Automated Investment Program. So let's suppose that you go to Starbucks and you buy coffee from there, and the coffee costs you 9 riyal and 10 fils. But you have already automated your program, your bank account, so it will not deduct from your bank account 9 riyals and 10 fils. Rather, it will deduct 10 riyals from your bank account. 90 fils or cents will go to a saving or investment venture. So that's how it is automatically deducting. Sometimes there is an artificial intelligence algorithm there which learns your pattern, your spending, your savings, and your cash flows. And on the basis of that, it automatically deducts a certain amount on regular basis from your bank account. So this is AIP first. And then robo-advisory comes in as to understand your own nature and behavior, that whether you are a risk-averse person or you are a risk taker, or what is your investment strategy. So it basically it gets adjusted according to your nature and then whatever you want to achieve as an objective with your investment. And then automated portfolio management is like it's not like the differences between a robo-advisor and automated portfolio management is that like robo-advisor is just a one-off advice, but on the other side, automated portfolio management, as you can see, is characterized by certain longevity. So the implementation of investment decision is taken care by the algorithms there and is not the client responsibility. So you do not know that what's going on, but how my funds are invested, but you know that like they are already going to be invested in certain investment ventures. Now, about the Sharia issues in this type of tools is that number one, lack of human engagement, because these programs are basically self-learning. They are based on data-driven decision making, which means that they can learn by themselves and then they can decide on by themselves that what are the best ventures for you to invest in, and they execute the investment as well. Number two, legal entity is another problem, because okay, I was talking to some of the experts there, and then also with some Sharia scholars, and then they say that we can basically consider it as a legal entity or not. That's a big question. Why? It's because these programs are just tools. They are making decisions on your behalf, but how these tools are being responsible in the court of law as well, and also how do you see it from the fiqh perspective, that can they actually made those investment decisions on your behalf or not? So that is a question, and it relates to the legal entity. In the US, by the way, robo-advisors are considered as human advisors, so they are legal entities. But should Sharia also see these tools as legal entities themselves? And who would be the responsible person if something goes wrong? If the Sharia compliance is not being adhered to, for example. So then who would be the responsible person here? So I think that is the question we need to address crucially. Third thing is lack of knowledge, because like I said before, that there is no knowledge about the algorithmic investment strategy. Scale of funds, sometimes you also do not know, like how much amount will be deducted from my bank account and it will go to the investment. I do not know. What I do is like the algorithm learns from my patterns and then independently invest it. So this is again a problem of gharar, and then there is no disclosure of the transactional level data. So we do not know actually that how the transactions are being carried out. So this is something which amounts to gharar there. And then Sharia issues are already there. For example, we have some robo-advisors, some APMs which are claiming that they are Sharia compliant in the space. But a survey done by a report by Dinar Standard about Islamic fintech startups, and they found that majority of the fintech startups, they do not consider that they need a Sharia compliant framework, which means that they do not have any Sharia advisor or Sharia board, and they do not want to see the necessity of it. As a practical example, I can say that recently Wahid Investor got fined by the US SEC for not having procedures and processes for Sharia compliance. Although like it's basically, I could say, number one Islamic Sharia robo-advisory service in the market. Now, second part is basically about cryptos. I think that yesterday we had some talk about cryptocurrencies and also today. But let me just directly go into an approach which personally I think that is viable, that we need to understand cryptocurrencies not as currencies but as crypto assets, because now the space is becoming wide and it is getting deeper and deeper. Because of that, different asset classes are emerging. Now, if you look at this taxonomy which I have created, you can see that like cryptocurrencies is actually part of crypto assets. And then you have tokens, NFTs, and hybrid assets. Under cryptocurrencies, you can see there are stable coins and unstable coins. Under stable coins, we have CBDCs. So this is basically a taxonomy which we can consider, because it makes very easy to then do the Sharia analysis from the fiqh perspective, that how would you apply a Sharia ruling on this? Because in my understanding, if you say that all cryptocurrencies are haram or if all cryptocurrencies are halal, then both the answers are actually not based on current and correct knowledge. So we have to analyze each and every project or crypto token separately. Why? Because now currently there are more than 13,000 active cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is only one of them. So when we start talking about them, we start talking about we only talk about Bitcoin, and then we get stuck there. So I think that we have to move on and see each and every project separately. So since my topic is about digital investment tools, so like many people are utilizing investment tools in cryptos. For example, like one approach is trading. So trading can be done through crypto exchanges, and P2P transactions as well can be done. And for that, you can also have trading bots and automated investments. And now people are creating more products, more complex and sophisticated products like ETFs, mutual funds, and ETPs as well. Second approach is basically project investment. How you can do it is actually you can participate in a token sale, initial token sale. It is just like an IPO. And then another approach is direct equity investment, or like you can basically buy units of VC funds or portfolio managers. So this is also another approach towards investment in the project. So this is basically traditional investment. Then we have DeFi investment products, staking, liquidity mining, and yield farming. These are very complex concepts. So like proof of staking is like when you, it's being done on the proof of stake consensus blockchain like Ethereum. And the investors who stake the most will be chosen to verify transactions that take place on that network. So what you are doing is like you are staking your funds, and then you verify the transactions there, and then you get rewarded. Liquidity mining is another approach where players contribute a portion of their crypto assets to various liquidity pools in exchange for profit in the form of tokens and fees. So what you are doing is like you are either investing, or you can say you are providing liquidity in those pools, and then as a reward you get fees for the transactions. Yield farming is a more advanced form of liquidity mining, where you not only get the fees, but you also get the LP tokens, which is liquidity provider token, and governance tokens. And then you can further stake those tokens to enhance your profits. Now, Sharia issues, again, whether cryptos or a specific project, if we are talking about a specific project, is it halal or haram as a subject matter, it's still a debate. And then if let's suppose that we go with that, with the route that where we are saying that, okay, some of them are halal and some of them are haram, then of course we need Sharia screening criteria for existing projects. And then crypto trading, Sharia guideline, we need Sharia guidelines for trading cryptos. And then for that, we can also have crypto exchanges and crypto investment products. And then DeFi investments, Sharia compliance of underlying, we need to consider Sharia compliance of the underlying platform, native token, business model. And also we have to see the investment strategies because sometimes they involve riba. And uncertainty is very huge in those strategies. Why? Is because parties do not know their contractual rights and responsibilities there. So they do not know what is their position. Last section is basically about crowdfunding platforms. I think that you know that there are various types of crowdfunding platforms like donation-based, reward-based, equity-based, debt-based, royalty-based, and real estate. I think the name already suggests that what they do and how we can utilize them. From the Islamic crowdfunding platform perspective, like how we can make them Sharia compliant, so I just propose that like Musharaka and Mudaraba can be used for royalty, equity, and real estate. Murabaha can be used for debt-based crowdfunding, Ju'ala can be used for reward, and for Islamic charity we can use Zakat, Waqf, and Sadaqah. So then I will just summarize in one sentence that, okay, there are some other platforms where people are doing forex trading, commodity, and stock and shares trading. We have so much problems over there because like we have CFDs, derivatives, leverage, and margin trading. And then there are some specific issues like, for example, with forex exchange, forex trading, we have rules of buy or surf are being applied properly or not, that is the question. And the issue of the ownership is also there. So we have to take care of these, but I think that we need to have some standards, some resolutions regarding this. Thank you so much. Jazakallahu khairan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farouk. I think it was a wonderful presentation. I believe you will have you raised a very important point, particularly in regard to the whether robo-advisors should be considered as humans or as a legal entity. This is something that we need to ponder, and maybe if the US have done that, what's the Sharia perspective? And at the same time, also the issue on cryptocurrencies, I appreciated the fact that you do not give a fatwa, but you just said that it's going to be treated according to the cases, on case-by-case basis, whether it's Sharia compliant or not. I believe the paper is something that will be shared with the participants, and they will be able to contribute. Thank you very much, Dr. Farouk. Our next speaker is Brother Umar Ansari. He is the Secretary General of IOP. Umar Ansari has been a well-known person in the global Islamic financial services industry. He is actually a chartered accountant that has been working with Big Four firm as quality assurance partner and head of Islamic finance in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and that is with Ernst & Young. So, Brother Umar, I think you don't need more introduction than this, so the floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here, and I don't want to repeat every time, but like everybody, but I think it's there is no harm in doing the necessary praise that is there for ندوة البركة and the Al-Baraka Forum. As an institution, inshallah, we hope that Sheikh Saleh Kamil, may Allah bless him, his endowments and his continued effort will continue and will remain to be sadqa jariyah for him. We all pray for him. He had a very direct connection with AOFI also at the time of his death. Allah bless him. He was a deputy chairman of AOFI, and we actually owe, as AOFI, we owe a lot to him and to Al-Baraka and to Al-Baraka Forum. And inshallah, I assure on behalf of AOFI, every possible sort of collaboration that is needed and support that is needed, we would like to offer that. With that, my task is a bit different. Most of the people are talking about the angle of development of the industry, and regulators and standard setters are considered to be putting hurdles on that. So my responsibility here is not to put hurdles, but to identify what are the key challenges and what are the key issues that are to be considered from the standard setting perspective, and how standard setting institutions as well as the regulators need to keep pace with how the industry is moving. So with limited time, obviously, I have to skip a few slides. So I'll be very quickly touching upon how actually, what sort of challenges actually are faced by the standard setting institutions. I would say that generally there are two levels of those challenges. First is at the strategic level, where the regulators have to adopt the standards of the respective standard setting body, and for that purpose they have a lot of challenges for global adoption. The second part is with regard to, I think I'm being asked to be a bit slow, but brother Dr. Billo is asking me to complete within 10 minutes. So let me try to keep a balance. So the second part is with regard to the operational challenges that the institutions who actually adopt either voluntarily or by regulatory compulsion the standards of the respective institution. So these sort of challenges, again, as the time may not permit us in going in detail, but I would like to touch upon some of these challenges, because these actually transform into new challenges now with regard to the adoption of the digital technologies and moving towards the digital economy. So the political will and mandate issue is there, mindset of the regulators issue is there, approach towards regulating the industry is there, perception of Islamic finance is there, environment with regard to advocacy and pressures, these are the issues. Incompatibility with other standards, etc., is the issue. Lack of capacity and regulatory at both ends, the regulatory end and the industry end is the issue, and language barrier is issue in some parts of the world. So these are the strategic challenges. You can see most of these challenges, not all of them, are also applicable on the areas related to digital economy, but we will see as I move ahead, we'll see there are additional challenges. These are the operational challenges. With regard to human resources, financial considerations, again, language barrier, technical support gaps, availability, technical support, operational guidance is the issue, IT systems are the issue, legal system and jurisprudence compatibility are the issues, and availability of services and consultants and auditors, the infrastructure availability is the issue. Now, if we try to understand how digital economy is actually impacting, though this digital transformation is impacting the Islamic financial services industry in particular and financial services industry in general, we can see that there are, if I divide it in two parts, one is the information motive or the transaction execution motive part, and one is the business motive and transformation motive part. In the information motive part, you can see that things are moving to cloud. Blockchain and distributed ledgers are being incorporated into normal IT systems as well. Payments and clearing platforms are changing and improving. Artificial intelligence is coming and taking its place in the information processing part as well. And data analytics is one of the most important fields which is becoming important for the information motive as well as the transaction execution motive part. These are the things which are impacting the existing industry. Existing industry cannot live without that. But what is happening is more coming on the business motive or the transformation part, that is crowdfunding is going to hit you. Digital sukuk and public offerings are going to hit you. Peer-to-peer models are going to hit you. MSME finance is changing, and MSME finance we believe is becoming more towards digital options. Smart contracts will impact the way the business is done. Cryptocurrencies are impacting the payment channels and a lot of banking services, and services, sales cum financing products are taking their place in the market now. These are just most of the common examples, but you can find additional examples as well. So these are the things that are actually being adopted by the industry by now, or new entrants in the market, particularly on the transformation part. New entrants in the market are coming who are not traditional banking institutions or capital market institutions. They are new type of institutions. Now, the most common challenges I would touch upon, new customer has its mind and its mindset is different. This is the most important thing that is going to impact the industry in short term, and eventually in the long run, if you don't change yourself, you can become irrelevant to this customer, because this customer has a different mindset and this is a different customer. Rising customer expectations, convenience, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. Nobody is now willing to work with the old traditional banking system. Service revenues taking lead over the net finance income, a very important trend that you can see in the markets that is actually going to impact the banking system completely. Rising competition, innovative operational models led by fintech and digitization, incorporating new technologies into standard operating procedures, ensuring information security, privacy, data integrity, competition with the small capital and cost-efficient businesses, a very big challenge for the banks and large institutions who are subject to strict regulatory requirements, that they are going to be hit big time because of the new entrants who are not subject to those sort of capital and other requirements. I'll just skip this slide because of limitation of time, and I would skip this slide also, that because fintech, I would just like to mention that fintech has made a great sort of competition, not only for, with the banking, but overall financial activities. A lot of financial activities are actually changing the way those are actually done in the market. Now, with these changes, what are the new angles for the standard setters and the regulators that they need to see? Some of the challenges, as I mentioned, those challenges, strategic and operational challenges, are still there, but there are additional challenges coming in. For example, the first is capacity and understanding issue as standard setting bodies. The first is the very biggest issue that we need to understand. Actually, it is very difficult to find from where to start with, because the things are coming at such a fast pace, and yesterday somebody very rightly said that regulators actually move late. Actually, the industry develops first and then regulations comes in. But this is the situation of high risk, so the standard setters and the regulators have to move fast. Capacity issue at the regulators. For sure, the people yesterday and today, we are listening to people who are genuine experts. How many regulators have experts like that at their disposal? Then no one single model and principle-based approach versus, and the missing links, because you cannot find, so many new products are coming, so many new business styles are coming in that you cannot manage them all. Integration with the services and new products, enhancing Sharia implications. This is, again, a very challenging issue. Domain of regulators and adoption of standards. Core Sharia issues, for example, smart contracts, execution, cryptocurrency, etc. Whether when a smart contract is executed, is it legally valid contract from Sharia standpoint? These sort of questions need to be addressed. Integration with IFIs. Compliance and responsibility issues, and changing business models of IFI. These are the most important issues that are adding challenges for the standard setters and regulators. Now, what standard setting institutions need to do? Promote good governance practices, contribute to achieve maqasid al-Sharia through big and SDGs. This is the right time. When you change the business model, it is right time to integrate the things which were not integrated in the original model. Promote standardization and harmonization of practices. Promote enhanced productivity and efficiency. Create new opportunities and improve the level of equality and safety. Need for standards and regulations in fintech. This slide, again, I have limited time, so I would like to touch upon most important point, that is encouraging good practice and protecting public interest. I would say that standard setters and regulators have to make sure, most important, these are two things: encourage good practices and best practices at all levels, and protect public interest at all levels. This is these are the most important challenges. What AOFI has been doing, just to touch upon very quickly, AOFI has picked up multiple projects on Islamic fintech. We have made and under the governance board, we have made a larger working group on fintech, which is going to cover multiple projects within the same. On the Islamic crowdfunding, we have already issued an exposure draft, and I can tell you it was one of the most challenging standards, because it's completely a new field, and how you actually understand that field and how you are able to develop that standard, it has been an uphill task. I believe that one thing I would like to say here, that crowdfunding, I believe, has the real potential of bringing the real Islamic finance in the ground. Reason being, the banking system has to work within the conventional banking regulations, conventional banking mindset, conventional banking style, the stakeholders' risk appetite, the investors' risk appetite, all these things are equivalent to the conventional. So if you expect the Islamic banking sector to come up with real sort of participatory solutions and things like that, it might not be possible. But with regard to the crowdfunding, along with other fintech solutions, there are a lot of possibilities. The other two areas on which we have already started working are smart contracts and digital banking. And as I mentioned, that our fintech group is actually picking up additional projects, and inshallah, and soon we will find more projects to come in. Islamic crowdfunding exposure draft is already available for public comments, and we'll be holding public hearings shortly. So all of you are kindly invited to provide your comments in writing and attend the public hearings. With that, I would like to thank you all again for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Brother Umar, for that wonderful presentation. I believe, just to summarize, you have highlighted all the challenges and then you provided the solution. This is what the standard setting bodies do. We don't just highlight the problems, but we propose solutions. And the earlier you take the solutions, the better for you. Otherwise, the regulators, once we issue the standards, will impose these solutions on you. Thank you very much, Brother Umar. And I think you have made it very clear the importance of capacity building. I think this is one important thing. And then as well as the need for MSMEs to be able to be empowered and to be able to take the first steps to ensure that this is being addressed. Wonderful. Thank you.